What's up, everyone? Back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another beer from the Green Cheek Beer Company, and they're headquartered in Orange, California, and there is no Y. So they are calling this one a double dry hopped California IPA with a Nelson CGX and Strata CGX, which we'll talk about more momentarily. It comes in at 7.2% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listen time of review. This can is approximately 2.5 weeks old. I'm gonna give a huge thanks, shout out once again to a good friend of mine and viewer of the channel, Sierra Hotel, for this beer. So big thanks to him. In the description box, I'll post a link to the beer mail unboxing video I did that contains all the goodies he hooked me up with, and he sent some West Coast love, including 4 different beers from Green Cheek, and this is one of them. And I'm excited about this one. Why? It's a double dry hopped California IPA. What does that mean? I have no idea. Now, the Nelson CGX and the Strata CGX are Cryo Hops from Crosby Hops, which is a hop farm in Oregon, and it's trademarked because this is like their version of a Cryo. And yeah, they're using Nelson and Strata, and I'm here for it. So let's give it a crack open. 2.5 weeks old, one of the fresher beers that I've ever received and been able to get to pretty much ever, honestly. It's pretty crazy. Oh, it's gushing out a little bit, but not too much. All right, we'll give it a pour here. Ooh, that has like a clear, like West Coast kind of look to it. Nice, I did not expect that. For some reason, I was thinking this was hazy, but maybe that's what they mean by double dry hopped California IPA. So maybe like they're talking about, like, you know, a classic West Coast IPA. It's like a modern West Coast IPA. Whatever it is, I'm here for it. We're going to wipe down the can a little bit here. But yeah, and I love the artwork I always mention about Green Cheek. I just like it. Anyway, yeah, that has a nice clarity to it. I can see my hand through the glass. A little bit of chill haze. Hold it up to light. Has this nice, just orangey, like light copper tone. I wouldn't say light copper tone. And more like a golden, we'll say like a golden orange color. Has 2 fingers of this bright white soap sudsy looking head. But honestly, that just looks to me like a very old school West Coast IPA. I'm excited. I did not expect it to be, you know, clear. I love clear beer. Let's get a nose. Interesting. I'm not getting a whole lot, which is kind of strange. There's definitely citrus here. There's orange, there's grapefruit, maybe even like a little bit of a... No, I was going to say lemon lime, but you know what? I think it's a little bit of white grape from the Nelson. It has this really funky kind of... funky kind of like dank kind of aroma that I was not expecting. It's a little bit of the malt, has like a little bit of like a bready, almost caramel malt. This is definitely an old school like West Coast IPA to me. A little bit of pineapple. And that dankness is kind of like a dank kind of pine, which is crazy because it's funny I just said that because I just reviewed a Hop Butcher beer recently, their Sat Moss, and tasting notes on the back said dank pine. I'm like, I've never say dank pine specifically. I just said it accidentally, but dank pine. Yeah, this smells like a old school West Coast IPA, but I'll be honest with you, like the aroma is not like wowing me. It's not like, you know, it's not over the top, but it's nice. There's subtleties, there's nuances, there's aromas to enjoy here, and I hope that it translates into the taste, because yeah, it just has like an old school West Coast kind of vibe to it. Let's get into it. Cheers, everybody. Thanks again, Sierra Hotel. That's what that is. That is wow, and there's a nice punchy bitterness on the finish. So I'll say right from the get-go, this is not amazing. Even though they're using Strata and or Nelson and Strata CGX, like I wouldn't tell you they're using Cryo specifically in here, and I wouldn't say specifically Nelson and Strata because it's not pumping out what I know of Nelson and Strata. Nelson, white grape, gooseberry, white wine, you know, that kind of side of things. Strata, you know, can be berry. A lot of people say strawberry. I'm not getting a lot of those notes. I'm getting like a classic old school West Coast IPA, not even a modern one, like an old school one. And this is touch over medium body, 7.2%. It's nice. Mouthfeel, what you expect from an old school West Coast. Very crisp and effervescent. It's smooth on the palate, but it's not soft. It's definitely an old school mouthfeel. The taste, it's not, you know, again, over the top. It's not too complex. There's not too many flavors hitting you at one time. What's here is, again, more subtle and kind of dialed back, but it works pretty well. Forefront, first thing that hits me, bready caramel ball, down underneath the palate. After that, there's waves of different fruits. There's, again, like a pithy orange. There's a pithy white grapefruit. And then after that, I get a little bit of like a ripened pineapple, like halfway through the palate. Then it transitions into a touch of that white grape that I was getting in the nose. Like, it's more like, I'd say, a gooseberry or something in that realm, as opposed to like a white grape, or like like a white grape skin, like tannin. That's what I'm getting more when it comes to the white grape. Really not getting the Strata influence as far as the strawberry is concerned, or any kind of berry character. Or maybe being a Cryo Hop, and specifically their like proprietary Cryo Hop from Crosby Farms, maybe, or Crosby Hops. Maybe it's you know, supposed to be different. Back of the palate, dank pine for sure. There's also like a dank herbaceous kind of thing going on. I always default to like onion, garlic, maybe even like a stinky cheese. Haven't said that a long time about hops, but it has like this dank herbaceousness, that kind of like this herbal character. Maybe it's like a basil. I might be getting like a little bit of like a basil in here, or a thyme, something in that realm where it's like, it could be herbaceous, herbal, dank, not quite like marijuana. But interesting. This finish is moderately bitter with a semi to full-on dry finish. This is not too sweet. Definitely leans to the bitter side of things. Yeah, so all this fancy stuff on this you know, can, a double dry hop California IPA with Nelson CGX and Strata CGX. And what I have in my glass here is like a pretty solid, enjoyable West Coast IPA. That's what this is in a nutshell. At least what I'm drinking and what my palate's picking up. Maybe you'll get this and get something else out of it, but that's pretty much where I stand with this one. Is it fantastic? It's not like, you know, one of the, this is definitely not in the realm of like one of the best West Coast IPAs ever had, but it's really, really solid, really good. I enjoy it. Like, there's, yeah, I'm going to drink the rest of that and have no issues with it. 7.2%, you can't taste it. Yeah, and I poured the rest of the goodies in him. That bright citrus kind of at the front of the palate's kind of hit me. It's more of like a tangy, almost juicy orange now. But yeah, as a whole, I'm A, glad he sent this to me. B, I was surprised when I poured it out that it's clear. Like, I did not expect that. And I love the fact that it's like an old school West Coast IPA. Now, was it meant to be? I don't know. I don't know exactly what they're going for with this one. But the fact they call it a double dry hop California IPA, I feel like this is kind of what they were going for. And they did a pretty good job with it. So there is no why from Green Cheek. I'm going to give this a straight 4 out of 5. I think this is pretty solid. I enjoy it. And this is one that kind of surprised me, but in a good way. This surprised me in a good way. I'm glad this is a clear beer. I'm glad this is a West Coast IPA, and I'm glad it has some, you know, solid bitterness. But the flavors, I think the thing that really stops me from loving this or giving it a higher rating or really going nuts about it is just, I think the flavors here are a little bit more subtle than I was hoping. The aroma was setting me up for that, and then on the palate, pretty much the same thing. I was thinking maybe a little bit more intense and in your face, so it didn't happen, but I'm still enjoying it regardless. Price by availability, on their website, they showed that this was $18 a 4-pack. It's California, so a bit pricey. I would like to see it more in the $16 4-pack range, but again, it is California, so those are the prices. And availability, it's Green Cheek. I have no idea. I'm pretty sure you can get them in California. I think you can order their stuff. I don't know if you can have it shipped. You might be able to have it shipped from their site. They get some drips and drabs outside of California, but a lot of their cooler and you know, more limited releases are definitely a brewery only or in and around their 2 locations, Orange and Costa Mesa, I think is the other one. But yeah, really cool to be able to try this one. So huge thanks to Sierra Hotel for this one, for all the beers he sent my way, 4 Monkish, 4 Green Cheek, a Russian River, and then a Augustina Brau beer. And so far I'm going through them and really enjoying them. And even if I don't love them, at the end of the day, it's just cool to be able to try a beers like this. And you have to be honest. And honestly, I'm super surprised at how this one looks and how it tasted and everything. But like I said, in a good way. And I'm going to go enjoy the rest of that one. So if you've had this one before, post in the comment section. Appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. To the next one. Cheers.